What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And yes, sir, and this is the AEW Dynamite review. And what a dynamite. It was very entertaining, and it had us very sports and entertained. And it had us keep us tuned until on the road to AEW Double or Nothing, which they've been hyping up. This is the 5th year anniversary of the pay-per-view ever since the existence of the All Elite promotion. But yeah, we're gonna start off with Adam Copeland getting in the building, and he got interviewed by, I believe, Lexi Nair, and this is where Adam Copeland let Brody King know that this won't be a normal match between between the both of them, I should say. It will be a no DQ match, and then this is where we move on over to the man that would never hit me with a Superman or orange punch, the freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, and this is where he faced off against his former best friend Trent Beretta in the match. This is where it started off with them spinning around before they got physical with one another. And let me tell you, this match, even though the ending it was very silly, and I guess the reason why they did that so none of them will be buried, and this would be this was just a lucky win, with them just doing it by making their opponent have the disadvantage, but yeah, I can understand that part, but it just ended in a way that it wouldn't have messed none of these guys up. If they lost clean, if either of these men lost clean, it would just continue to. It would just continue to what's that called? What's that word? Continue to this rivalry until we see one of them join Don Callis, which he was out. But I'm gonna get to that point. Get to that in just a minute. But this is where we got Trent. This is where the Trent Beretta then. This is where in wrestling tennis. This is where they start going for. This is where they were fighting each other like if they're a hockey player. They start throwing fists at each other until they pushed each other off in their respective corners. This is where we got Orange Cassidy and duck out of Trent Beretta's clothesline before he tried to hit him with the maneuver. This is where he tried to go for the orange punch, but Trent Beretta's cowardly ass then rolled out of the ring and went to the ringside area. This is where then we got them taking it out in the ring. This is where we got Orange Cassidy giving Trent Beretta a beating of his life, even throwing him right to the ring post in the upper right side, right above Simba the Steel Steps. Where then but this is where he tried to Irish whip him right to the bottom right corner barricade. But this is where he gets countered by Trent Beretta. This is where then we got Trent Beretta then did him with a big right knuckle punch. This is where he started hitting right hands repeatedly right into the face of the Orange, trying to beat him up into a juicy pulp because he's made out of juice rather than blood. Well, in kayfabe he is. But anyway, this is where then he Irish whips the freshly squeezed Orange right into the upper right side. But this is where Orange Cassidy caught himself and jumped right over the barricade before he even got hit and crashed right into the hardest point in the ringside area. This is where I'll say not the hardest part, the most brutalest part of the ringside area. Let me rephrase that. This is where the Orange Cassidy was like, okay, hands go in the pockets now, which he did. This is where we got Trent Beretta trying to charge at him, but Orange Cassidy ducked out of the way, super kicks him right in the face with his hands still in his pockets. This is where Orange Cassidy fixed up his hair. This is where then. And he picks up his former best friend. This is where he started doing more of a beating into the audience. Start hitting some right knuckle sandwiches, right into the face. And this is where fans are like, yeah, I'm a huge fan of yours. And this is where he's like, and then this is where we got some of the fans offer Orange Cassidy some popcorn. That was very sweet of that generous fan. And I'll say, yeah, I want to give you praise for doing such a kind gesture to the most popular mid-card guy in AEW, and I mean that in a compliment. But anyway, this is where he grabbed a couple pieces of popcorn, throw it in the face of Trent Beretta hilariously, like if this is cartoon wrestling. This is where they picks up Trent Beretta, bring him right up on stairs, hit a big right uppercut. This is where then fans were chanting freshly squeezed to the freshly squeezed orange juice man. This is where then he tried to go for an orange punch again, but this is where Trent Beretta flips out of it. Flip him out of it, counters out of it, and flips him right over the barricade where she was trying to do the orange punch from. This is where then but this is where he tried to go for some kind of a top barricade dive right into Barry's tombstone in the upper corner. But this is where he gets tripped right over. This is where he fails and crash and burn right onto the concrete floor. This is where then we got both men going back in the ring. This is where we got this is where we finally see Orange Cassidy gets the guaranteed orange punch right into the face of Trent Barretta as soon as they got back in the ring, but both men went right down to the ground. This is where we got the freshly squeezed wrestler trying to get himself right back up, grabbing onto the left side ropes and starting lifting himself up, trying to get up to trying to help Barretta. Help himself to continue finishing Barretta. But this is where we saw, Don Callis coming out there to join commentary. I was like, what the hell he's doing out here? Every time he shows up, it's always something ungood happening. But this is where we got both men got back up, but Orange Cassidy got him right into the upper right side, hitting some punches until he got intercepted by Trent Barretta. This is where he started hitting some strikes and some knife edge chop, which earned him a number 10 spot in Gunther's Envy list in the latest on the latest list of Envy of the Ring General. This is where then he then was shouting at him. He was like, "You were never my friend." And this is where he tried to go for a power bomb. But this is where we got what's his name? Orange Cassidy then picks him right up, and this is where I thought he was going for a beach break, but he just body drops him. This is where then. This is where Orange Cassidy stumbled down, but he was on his knees. This is where he started hitting some right hands right onto Trent Barretta. But this is where we got Trent Barretta doing right back at Orange. Where fans were cheering for Orange Cassidy while booing Trent Barretta because he's the massive a-hole in this rivalry in All Elite Wrestling. And they're playing, just some basic wrestling tennis, hitting some right strikes until we got Trent Barretta then got done. He throws Orange Cassidy right into the upper corner of the ropes. This is where he tried to go for a sidewalk slam, but this is where he made a massive mistake by just standing there because soon after, about 5 seconds after Orange Cassidy ran right through the rope, this is where he saw him hit a flying head scissors and DDT right onto his former best friend. He does a kip up. This is where then he got him in the snapmare position. This is where he started kicking him right into the midsection, but not very hard, rather soft. This is where fans are being like a soft version of Bryan Danielson. This is where then he cross-bodied him. This is where he took off his elbow pad because he was ready to go for the second round of the orange punch. In his third attempt of going for the orange punch. This is where then we got him going for it, but this is where Trent Barretta ducks out of the way, and it seemed like the third time wasn't a charm because he probably didn't use the card. And he then got hit with a Nelson suplex right onto the freshly squeezed one. This is where then we got Trent Barretta's man, my arm is killing me. What's the side effects in this orange juice? And then this is where Orange Cassidy then explained what kind of side effects it was. It had some kind of what's that? I'll say some kind of a spasm kind of powder that was mixed with the orange. This is where then we got him right to a powerbomb position right onto Orange Cassidy. This is where then he heard the fans start chanting "You suck" about 1,000 times. This is where he gave him the fingers, flipped the birds right up onto everybody around Edmonton, Canada, I believe that's what the city's called. Edmonton, yeah. This is where he flips him off. This is where he hits him with the pile driver. This is where once he tried to go for a pinfall cover, this is where Orange kicks up at 2.999999999. And I was like, wow. How did he did that? It seems like his neck will never break. If he takes any power drive, even that one power drive, that tiger pile driver that Will Ospreay did to Bryan Danielson, which is called the C1 driver, I believe. Yeah, the C1 driver. Yeah. But even if he gets hit with that move, which I believe he got hit at least once by Will Ospreay the last time they met, and his neck still won't break. But anyway, this is where we got Trent Barretta try to go for a second time, which he did so. I was surprised that he must have either got a double whammy card, or he was double lucky without it, because he just easily hit a pile driver right afterwards. This is where then Trent Barretta then picks up the freshly squeezed orange, and this is where he tried to go one more time, thinks the third time will be the charm. But this is where Orange Cassidy fell flat right down on purpose, like because he's a nonchalant fruit. This is where then we got Trent Beretto's like, you know what? I have a better idea. Like I'm just gonna settle for being just a double whammy, double lucky hitter. But this is where he's like, all right, let's give the people what they want. And this is where he starts sarcastically doing that, like and trying to hit the knee strike right onto Orange Cassidy. This is where he hits that right onto his former best friend. This is where Trent Beretto's like, yeah, but remember that a few weeks ago, fans were like, boo, you didn't need to remind us about that. And then this is where Trent Beretto, that's against the rules because it's not a no DQ match. And this is where Orange Cassidy saw them and he took advantage. He got right back up, went right to the diagonal corner on his side and the upper left side, rips out that turnbuckle. This is where the referee he snatched the turnbuckle pad off of Trent Beretto's hands from the lower right. This is where then Beretto tried to charge at him with Orange Cassidy tricking him, like luring him to his trap, like pretending that he did not expose the turnbuckle pad. But this is where, he tried to hit a splash right on him. Orange Cassidy moved out of the way. He hits face first right onto the exposed turnbuckle. And this is where Orange Cassidy got enough time, had enough time to hit the most devastating move. And all the sports entertainment got the 1, 2, 3. Orange Cassidy wins. But soon after, this is where we got Trent Beretto didn't freak out, like getting ticked off. He was like, no, this cannot be happening. Like, how did he beat me? And this is where he attacks him from behind. This is where he was like, you did not beat me. Like you just like you cheated. Like, and this is where he start pushing his head. This is where fans start saying a-hole right onto Trent Beretto because he really is an a-hole and all of AEW, maybe even over Don Callis himself. And he's supposed to be the biggest one in the wrestling business in the Jacksonville-based company. But this is where we got Trent Beretto hit a big pile driver right onto the symbol of steel steps. And it seems like that he's trying to be the most hater of the year, like or begging to be in the hater of the year award, like in all of professional wrestling, over the likes of Drew McIntyre, Don Callis, Solo Sikoa, and others. Yeah, basically. But anyways. This is where then he tried to attack him with a toolbox, but this is where Don Callis and Chris Statlander was there to stop. Well, no, before that, this is where he dragged Orange Cassidy. This is where he did what's that, like slingshot, like flapjacked him, like putting his face right beneath the bottom under of the ring where there's the pipes and the little that the wood and the metal and the little like I don't know how they make how they build the ring up, like to support the ring up, like with all the the things underneath, like the springs and the pipes and the strings and other things that are very very dangerous to get hit with. That's what Well, what Trent Beretto did, he did like a flapjack maneuver, like a reverse flapjack, like slamming him face first right onto there. I was like, oh my God. Like, and he, well, not just face first, but also neck first. Like, I was like, man, I hope we can still breathe after taking such brutal hit. And then this is where we got him going right beneath the ring, going right behind some of the steel steps in the upper right corner side. That's when he grabs onto the toolbox. This is where then he tried to wham what's his name, Orange Cassidy with the box. But this is where Don Callis like, no, like that, you should not be doing that. Like, that's very dangerous. And this is where Chris Allen was like, what is up to you? What would you right now? Like, this is not you. Like, you need to give an actual good reason why you're doing this to our best friend Orange. Like, our best friend. I know he's just your best friend, like Miss Statlander. Like, he's no longer my best friend. Like, he's nothing but a disgraceful failure or whatever. And this is where he's like, and this is where Don Callis then dragged Orange Cassidy out of there before things got worse. Even though Orange Cassidy had a chair on him to make sure that he has something to defend himself before, like, Trent Beretto can strike him in the head with the steel chair. But anyway, let's move on to the next slide. We got and then this is where we saw Trent Beretto and Chris Statlander running in the right side. And then this is where we got the Young Bucks like parking at the parking lot, which we had a little video of them like backstage with the Young Bucks and the man that loves crying people rivers, Jack Perry, the same guy that that's the reason why CM Punk's no longer there, and the reigning defending Continental Champion, what's his name, Kazuchika Okada, which I forgot to properly call the Young Bucks the All Elite Wrestling World Tag Team Champion. I want to give a big apology. Hope y'all get fined with $500 by making a honest mistake. But you would never believe where they parked at. Like once they parked their SUV at, like when, before they get in the building. And yep, you guessed it. If not, like, but anyway, it was at Tony Khan's parking space. Since Tony Khan's no longer there, that's going to be their parking space. And then it's only a matter of time they change the name of Tony Khan from Tony Khan to Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, or their team name, the Young Bucks. But let me know what your thoughts on this. We're them being the Dr. Robotnik of AEW, like in the situation, in the comment section right down below. But anyway, this is where we got this is where we got a vignette of Kenny Omega being brutally assaulted by the Young Bucks and Jack Perry and Okada. He's like, this is where we got Kenny Omega was like, Kenny Omega, like you think you're the hero, like you, and then you think you were very cool again, like when you were hitting your pretty awesome moves, the V trigger, the Snapdragon suplex, etc. Like that's maybe probably the last time that you're going to be doing those moves for the rest of our lives. Like, and he was like, and you're not the hero that we wanted you to be, and you're not right for AEW, like, because we're going to change the world without you being in it. Like, and you can be right on the unemployment line, or even go to that bootlegged company that you call the greatest wrestling company and the new era, or whatever you call, with that slob that tried to tell me what to do to not use real glass. And I told him to go cry a river and go flub himself, and that's why Tony Khan had that much sense of firing him, all thanks to me. Well, he didn't say all that, but he looked like it was kind of referring to that as well, like with Kenny Omega no longer being an AEW. And then he's like, and he told him, like, I wouldn't recommend you sacrificing your whole entire life in order to take us down, like, because it's gonna